So, where does it all start for me? Well, it started at about 1996 when I was just leaving high school. I graduated from Henry County High School, and it was decision time for me. What was I going to do in life? Actually, I was considering either being a Marine or going to college. I really wanted to go to college, but I couldn't afford to go. But it turns out that I earned a scholarship from Morris Brown College, and I was on my way. So I went to college, Morris Brown, and I majored in what I had just decided that I wanted to do with my life. I majored in music. During this time, I was working at Camelot Music, because where else would I work other than a music store? And in this music store, I made a great friend who gave me the direction that I needed at the time. His name was D. And I told D what I wanted to do, and he sort of explained to me some steps that I needed to take, gear that I needed to buy, things I needed to have in order to get started. And he always tried to push me towards mastering the business of music. He probably saw in me that I really wasn't too worried about the business. I just wanted to make music. So D wrote out this diagram, and it was a picture of 4 tracks. And he explained to me what a track was and how I use these tracks to record different pieces of a song. He also guided me in the next steps, which were going to a music store and actually finding the gear that I needed. I ended up with a 4-track Tascam cassette tape recorder and my first keyboard, which was an Ensoniq EPS. I thought I was doing it. You couldn't tell me a thing, because now I was able to make music, and I had my first at-home studio, a 4-track EPS keyboard and a microphone, and I recorded one of my first songs. So this was the first album I produced for myself, actually. I put it under the name of Brev, B-R-E-V. I spent my whole career trying to tell people how to say it, Brev. And I guess maybe the name sort of gave hints to what was coming in the future. Brev is the word verb turned backwards. In other words, I was supposed to be like a man of action. And it's funny that I would choose a part of speech to be my name, but this is Perfect Man. This is the first album I produced from beginning to end, Joe. Joe was a super interesting song. Joe was a song about a person that I met and found out that we went to school really close to each other. We had a lot of things in common. But Joe actually found out at an early age that he was just an average guy. And that is something that bugged him to death. And what eventually ended up happening was Joe called me up to the bridge by the Georgia Dome, and he killed me in order to be put on the news so he could become famous. So they go into something about the 15 minutes of fame. He said that made him up inside, that at his best he's just an ordinary guy. But I said, wait, Joe. Perfect Man. People ask me about this track. It's not about me being perfect, but it is about a pursuit of perfection, because you love someone so much. And at this time, the person that I love so much, I'm talking about God, and how he made me want to be a perfect man. Thinking I needed someone to hold, but no matter who was in my bed, I felt so cold. A losing battle for peace of mind, cross to heaven for a reply. But I know that you're there, because you make me want to try to be a perfect man. Nothing's changed. Oh man, yeah. Still sleeping in the same old bed that I slept in when you were here. Still sitting at the same old table where I sat across from you, my dear. Still have the same attitude, but I find now that I'm feeling down. Still the same sun, still the same rain, but things ain't the same since you're not around.
Nothing's changed, nothing's the same since you went away. Nothing's changed, no, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed, nothing is the same since you went away. No, nothing's changed, nothing's changed, no, nothing's changed. Still working that same old job.
When you, so long, more than we have outside all day, all night, pretty day. In a little while, it'll be alright in a little while. It'll be okay in a little while. Watch Brev, hold on. The next release from me was the Unheard Classic. So, oh wow, it's crazy. The second album by Brev. Oh, and this one was dedicated to my mom. So actually, once we got everything finished, my mom passed away. And that was something that actually made me take a good break from music. But let's see what songs we have on here. Feel You In. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Gentle. Really sensual. I hear some of these songs. Feel You In. Gentle. Since You Went Away. And probably the timeless song of this album is Timing. And it's just about two people at different parts of their life. One who's probably still ready to run around a little bit, you know, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and the other one who's ready to sort of settle down and start really thinking about the direction and how it just doesn't match up sometimes.
Could it be you're feeling me? Cause you finally met a brother with his head on straight. Trying to find a place in my life, lock me down before I get away. But I can tell you're misleading me. Your body see it, but I can read your face. Your mind's out in the streets when I call your name. It's all in the timing. Few years ago I could've played around. It's all in the timing. But today we have no common ground. It's all in the timing. Maybe in the future our paths will come together.
Someone. I thought this was an ultimate love song. Someone. Beautiful song.
Everybody needs someone to love. When it's late to feel that familiar touch. To know the one you're thinking of is needing you just as much. And everybody needs someone who cares. A special friend that they know will be right there. And even though they know all your flaws, they chose you for life to share. Someone that you're used to. Someone who worries when you're gone.
I Miss You Sometimes, dedicated to my mother after she passed away. Aw. And then Rain on Us featuring Lynetta Shamery. My sister, my big sister, was up next. Executive producer, Daniel Brev Leo. I started trying to mix him up, and Brandy Lee. So we put this thing together, and we produced album number 2, The Unheard Classic. Now, one of the next albums was really interesting, super fun. This one is called The Adventures of KG and Ella. And what this is a learning CD. And I want to talk about it later, but something else that I'm passionate about is education. And this one is a CD full of songs about English and math.
A percent decimal lower fraction, man. You can use them all cause they all the same. It all depends on how you do your math. You could say 0.5 or you could say 1/2. Next, you can take point 5.
Yeah, essays. It's your boy ELA. Today we're gonna talk about writing essays.
Anyone can do it, the knowledge is a key. If you wanna know how, then just listen to me. First I tell you about the parts, and I tell you how to write. By the time the song's over, then my thoughts may stop. I'm coming up with ideas. I'm jotting down plots from my middle school years, picking characters from my childhood peers, writing lessons learned from my childhood. I'm writing narratives, no one can do it better. I have so many stories, let me think of one to tell you. I'm writing narratives.
Oh my goodness, the writing process. Do you know it? Can you pass a test?
Can I write? Come on, man. Ella, do you know it? Can you pass a test? Do you know it? Can you pass a test? Do you know it? Can you pass the test? It's a writing process, the writing process. Pre-write, draft, revise, edit. Pre-write, draft, revise, edit. Pre-write, draft, revise, edit. Now when you write that paper, man, don't you dare forget it. Can I write a paper?
So,
Man, that's easy.
oh man, this is most certainly the most positive thing I ever did. Looking back at all those good times, and all that gear, oh my goodness. It is so nice that it's come down to me just needing an iPad, and from that I can make music, I can make beats, I can mix them down, I can actually put vocals on them, I can get an audio interface, and I can do basically whatever I want to do with a little iPad that in the past would have taken a whole room dedicated to it. It gives you freedom, gives you the autonomy to create. So now I just gotta make something funky. So, what a long journey. And I thought that my whole life was gonna revolve around music. But it turns out I was pretty good at a few other things too.